Welcome to Couch Convo with Coach Karla, where current events and mental health converge. I am your host, Coach Karla, and I have a very special guest with us, Coach Mary HAMM. Welcome, Mary.
Thanks. I'm so excited to be here.
It's good to see you. How is your new year going so far?
It's going okay. You know, there was a little sickness at the beginning, but we rolled with the punches there and we're back on track now. It's been good and I loved the snow. I know we
You
had to
loved
cancel
it?
for it, but I loved it. I was all about it.
Yeah, I apologize to the audience as well as to Mary. Mary, thank you for being so patient, but we wanted to err on the side of caution last week. And not, we don't want anybody to be unsafe, but we're here on tonight.
Yes.
And let me introduce Mary because, of course, I know her, but I got acquainted with Mary from seeing her present with one of the conferences with Lakeside Behavioral Health. And then I got even more acquainted attending her therapist retreats that she kind of had like every other month or so last year. Okay, and they were great, and so that's one of the reasons why she's here with us on the couch tonight. Mary is an inspiring force dedicated to empowering individuals to awaken the life within them. With over 15 years in the counseling field and a master's degree in social work from the University of Tennessee, Mary holds an LCSW and a deep well of expertise in mindfulness, meditation, trauma, geriatrics, and neurodiversity. Mary is a Gallup certified strengths coach, certified Go and Tell Gals coach, and we're going to get into the different work that she does with the Gallup strengths. So, again, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. So Mary is very good at what she does, and of course, I do some of the things that she does as a therapist, but she is focusing on being a Gallup certified strengths coach, and she is working with professionals on avoiding burnout and taking care of themselves, which all of us can gain a lot from that. So we are going to go into Mary. Tell people what the Gallup certified strengths are.
Sure. So Gallup is a worldwide company, and you might recognize them from like Gallup polls and things like that. I'm with the Clifton Strengths side of things, so
Okay.
I'm a Clifton Strengths coach, and that is they've come to 34 different talent themes that people have, and we operate out of our top 10, 11, sometimes 12 strengths or
Okay.
talent themes.
Okay.
And so, for example, my top talent themes, my top five, let's go there, is woo, which stands for winning others over, which means I
Oh.
love to come into a new space and
Yeah.
get to know people and help people feel comfortable and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Good at networking. Positivity, you'll typically see me with a smile on my face.
Yes,
It's kind of
that's
my,
true.
my hashtag, Mary Smile. And communication, includer, and ideation. So
Yeah.
I love to help people with stories and conversations and making things make sense for people and bringing people into a space. And then my ideation is like, if I will always have an idea for you, sometimes they're good and sometimes they're just mediocre.
Oh.
Sometimes they're straight up bad. I won't lie, but I will always have an idea for you.
Okay. Now I'm not going to agree with you on you having mediocre or bad ideas. I'm
Thank
just
you.
not going to do that.
Okay. Fair.
But explain to people how we find out what those particular strengths are.
Yeah. So we take an assessment. We have an assessment. It's from Gallup and based on years and years of research. So it's not like what's your Disney princess style or anything like that. And it takes about 45 minutes or so. You want to set aside about 45 minutes. You're going to take this week, aren't you?
Yes,
I thought
absolutely.
so. And then you just answer questions, and it's on a scale of 1 to 5, like which one is more like you. And then they come to the conclusion of like, here's your set of 34 in order.
Okay.
So that's how you take it. And you can find it at the Gallup website, or you can contact a Gallup certified strengths coach, and we can help you get it and do coaching with you.
Okay, awesome. And so did you say 34?
Yes.
Okay, so these are 34 characteristics that the particular person has who takes the assessment?
So yes, there's 34 total talent themes as
Okay.
part of it. And we operate from our top 10 or so of those talent themes. Now, they'll all be in order from 1 to 34. So like my bottom themes, I don't actually pay much attention to because I'm not going to focus on strengthening my weaknesses.
Yeah.
I'm going to work on developing powerful partnerships with people
Okay.
who are able to fill in those gaps or use my other strengths in order to make up for those things.
Okay. So how long have you been coaching using the Clifton Strengths framework?
That's a great question. I have been a certified coach with them since 2021.
Yeah.
In May of 2021. So is this 4 years then? Going on
Yeah.
4? Oh
It's
my
going to be
goodness.
going on 4 years. We are in 2025.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So, of course, I've been in your class and been exposed to the Clifton Strengths, and you've even got a mug that has your Clifton Strengths on them. I like that.
I do.
But I like the way woo sounds. I'm not going to be surprised if I'm one of the woo people. So, but yeah. Can you give an example of a coaching coaching success story? This is what happens when you're live.
Yeah.
Coaching success story using Clifton Strengths.
Yeah, actually, I coached a team yesterday, and it's interesting. I've come kind of full circle with them. I used to work at that agency, and now I coached some of their
that's
clinical team
good.
yesterday.
That's good.
And it's always fun where you like have a moment with a person or a team or organization even where you get to see that point where they're like, oh, I get it. Oh, this is me. And it's just, there's something very empowering about knowing yourself better and then being able to know the team that you're with better so that you can operate better together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I think it helps you understand people better too.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
Maybe even like some of our quirks that people don't quite understand.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
We had this whole that made me think about, we had this whole conversation about people not understanding your smile.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
I would love to talk about that because it's a very it actually brings up a lot of emotion for me.
Okay.
I have definitely cried while talking about this, so I'm going to hope that there's no tears tonight. So
Okay.
my smile has always just been a part of who I am. My parents joke around and say I came out smiling, which I don't think is accurate. I've seen a couple births now, and
It could be accurate.
I mean, so I'm very generous with my smile. I've always been, when I was young, there was some people at school that would call me Giggle Box because I just love to laugh. I love to smile.
Yeah.
It's part of who I am. And there came to a point in my adult life, not as a kid, in my adult life, where people were saying that I was, I had toxic positivity. That's like keywords right now. And or that I was insincere, or what's another? Any of those things. Inauthentic, right? Because I was happy all the time. And for me, it's not a matter of, I wasn't happy all the time, but I was able to find the joy in life easier than people who might not have positivity as high as I do. It doesn't mean that they're not positive people or that they can't see good things.
Right.
It just means that it came so naturally for me. So I went through a tiny little phase, it didn't last long, where people had said some really cruel and hateful things to me about my smile specifically. And so I was like, fine, forget it. I'm just not going to smile anymore.
Wow.
And I went through, it was very short. It was a very short-lived experiment, but I went and I was just.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And people, you know what they would ask me? Are you okay? What's wrong? Why aren't you smiling? And I was like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I responded to the feedback that you gave me.
So it was a very hard time. And then my husband actually has can I say this on here? He has a hashtag called My Merry Smile.
Yeah.
You can look it up. But he, that's one of the reasons that, he loves me and chose me. And, we're one of the things he loves about me. So That smile for me is not toxic positivity. It is a genuineness. I'm a counselor, right? We
Right.
talked about that. And so it would be very hard for me to be a good counselor and have people come into my office and I'm like, hey, so let's do this, yeah? Like,
Yeah.
that's not me. That's not who I am.
Right.
I can have energy. I can be excited. I definitely am silly.
Yeah.
But when I can also read a room. I can also know, like, hey, you're grieving, you're hurting, you're in pain, and I can sit there with you in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Bring a sense of hope
Yeah.
to you.
I think people are big on putting people into boxes and labeling and not giving a person a chance and getting to know the different parts to this person. Because I think all of us have, several sides to us or different moods. I mean, and it's interesting because it kind of came back to me when I thought about I'm going to call it toxic smile. It's not a toxic smile, y'all, but that's what people were trying to say. I actually experienced that too. Now, I didn't experience it a lot because I really don't. I smile more now, I think, but I don't smile. Okay, let me get to the story, child, because I done got mixed up my own self. But I got in trouble for smiling one time. I say got in trouble, but that means that my supervisor had something to say about it. You just, when things are going on, well, she didn't say when things are going on. She said, you just stand there and smile and you don't say anything. Well, do you want me to, now I didn't say that to her, but do you want me to frown and not say anything? I thought I was being nice by smiling, you know, and I don't, generally, I don't have much to say. And she was a talker.
Yeah,
And a
yeah.
lot of times talkers don't understand quiet people.
Right.
But as far as I'm concerned, I came here like that.
Yeah.
Just like you came here a talker. I don't know, child, but and if you observe my mom, then you see, oh, well, Karla's mom is quiet and she's a lot like her mom. And her mom does that smile too. And there's nothing fake about it. It really is. I'm smiling. I'm being nice. I'm being genuine. But like I said, that only happened probably once in my life with that
Right.
particular supervisor. And I think that she was just hell bent. I hope I can say hell in front of your daughter.
Yes,
She
fine.
was hell bent on finding something wrong. But yeah, people are like that.
Yeah.
So I got off on a little bit of a tangent, but that's important for us to understand that talkers,
Yep.
everybody is not going to talk, especially in a new situation. And that's interesting because now, with me being a leader, we're going to find out about all these Clifton strengths. If you put me in a room,
Right.
now I said I'm quiet, this is
Right.
true. But if you put me in a room with 10 people, it could be 15, I will start the conversation
Yes.
or start conversation
Okay.
to help the talkers feel comfortable.
That's part of the woo-ness.
Because
Or an includer. There could be so many different drivers. That's the beauty of Clifton Strengths. Is like the drive behind it might be different. For you, it may just be like, these are my people, and so I need to make them feel comfortable, and this is how I can make them feel comfortable.
Okay.
Or, yeah. Anyway, I do believe that it is very important to know each other so that we can be present for each other. One of my phrases that I use, I might have said it at a retreat, is we have to know ourselves so well that we can get out of the way so that we can be with somebody else, right? Like we can really show up for somebody when we know ourselves so well.
Cool. Thank you so much. So what do you have, like a coaching philosophy?
That's good. A coaching philosophy. Well, I believe that we should be bold, we should be courageous, and we should be ourselves.
I love courageous. I'm listening.
So you're good. You can talk. So my little tagline is be bold, be courageous, be you. And that came from a sense of, for a long time, I didn't wear color because I was just trying to blend in and not, I thought I was too much for people a lot. I still think that sometimes. And a company came into my life. It's called Francis and Benedict,
Yeah.
and I just had to give a little shout out because they're my heart company.
Okay.
And they introduced the world of African wax print to me. And if you know, it's colorful. It's all colorful.
Yeah.
And that had such a transformational piece of my life and my story of allowing me to bring color. And so I was like, well, I'm going to bring the color tonight. And I bring the color to anyway, so the philosophy is being bold, being courageous, and being fully you. And when we can show up and be fully us, we can serve our world better, serve each other better, and be okay with ourselves better.
Yeah. Well, you're not used to having a microphone attached
No,
to
I
your
don't
jacket.
usually do that. Although that would be a lot of fun.
So now it's interesting because, you know, I'm reflecting and going back in my mind as you're talking, but I love color, but I also always have, like, you know, but then I grew up in a home with color. I mean, all of these things influence us, you know.
sure.
So maybe I come here with a desire for color, but then also, which we would say is biological or whatever. And then, you know, your environment or how you were raised also reinforces that.
Absolutely. Yes.
I love it.
Yes. Yeah.
But I know color makes me happy.
Oh, for sure. I love it. Bring on the color.
Yep, bring on the color, child. And then don't get to talking about sequins and beads and all of that, child. Glitter, ooh, I love it, honey. Give me the shine. I don't care.
I love the sparkle.
I love the sparkle. All right. So, how does the strengths-based coaching principles, guide your coaching philosophy?
Yeah, so I mean, it's very similar. And I believe this way back even in my counseling career of, you know, in counseling, and I think you're going to ask this at some point, so I'm just going to answer it now.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yeah.
So counseling is very much driven on like our past behavior and the history that we've had, right? And getting a diagnosis so that we can treat the diagnosis so that we can, you know, get over whatever it is. With strengths coaching, I'm able to actually come from a strengths-based perspective, which we talk about in counseling a lot. And we bring a strengths-based perspective often. But this really allows us to say, instead of like seeing what's wrong with people, like what's wrong with you, we're able to say what's right with you.
What's right with you. Yeah.
What's right with you, and be able to move forward in what's already right with you, and then being able to build into that.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. I've got a couple of people that I'm going to send your way.
Good. Yeah, send them.
Okay. So Mary has a new program called Awaken and Renew. I'm excited about it. Pretty sure I'll be there, but I'm going to let her tell you about it.
Yeah, so this is actually a two-part
Okay.
type of, and it's still kind of forming this year. It's been in the works in my mind for a while, and I've just kind of really mapped it out at the beginning of 2025. So Awaken and Renew comes from a sense of living fully awake and with a renewed sense of energy, enthusiasm for life, right?
Yeah.
I believe that a lot of us are actually sleepwalking through life, and we need to wake up. When we get on our phones and we just scroll, that's a way of us sleepwalking through life. And I don't know if you do that, but I mean, I do that. I'm not gonna lie on TV. Can I do that? No. And so, but it's a thing that we all do, and it's a matter of like we're sleepwalking through our own lives. So that idea of awaken, let's wake up, people, and start really living. Like we get one shot at life. I think I don't believe in reincarnation, so you know, we get one shot at life, and this is it. So this is not a dress rehearsal. This is the real thing, and we need to wake up and start living. And so that's where that kind of came from, of this awaken and renew. And so the program, which is what you actually asked about, is focus for burnout and that compassion fatigue while infusing that drive for waking up and re-engaging in life. So it's really for everyone. I have pinpointed a little more specifically to mental health professionals because that's where my passion area is. But as you know, we've had people come to those retreats from all walks of life because people burn out in all areas of life. Even like parenting, you know, you feel that burnout even, in parenting. My daughter's here with us tonight. And so there's that component of it. So I have a class starting soon, like a workshop. It's virtual, so anyone around the world can join us for that. It's 6 weeks, 1 hour a week, in an 8-week period.
Okay.
We take 2 weeks off in between there, and we focus on things. There's an educational piece. We'll do some strengths coaching, and we'll use that framework throughout the time, and then do have some time for rest, meditation, mindfulness, that kind of thing throughout the program as well.
Yeah.
So that's the virtual program. It they'll be different. I'll be doing it several times throughout the year.
Yeah.
And then the thing that you really love are the retreats. So the retreats have just been, they'll be very similar to what we've done in the past with a new refreshed vibe of awaken and renew. And our retreats dates for the first 3 are already scheduled for the year. So you can already get those on your calendar.
Yeah. And Mary's retreats came at a time that I personally really needed it. I'm hope I'm remembering this correctly, but I know I was introduced to the retreats and then something traumatic happened. I lost a friend, and so it was just right on time. And I believe in divine alignment. We have all of these different words for it now: divine alignment, divine appointment. I think we have about 10 different phrases now for things lining up according to God's plan. So I really appreciate Mary and the work that she does, and I hope every therapist gets a chance to experience Coach Mary HAMM, who also happens to be an LCSW. So she's been in the therapist's shoes and knows what that's like, and it's a challenging role.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's literally the reason why I do what I do now is because I was a baby fresh out of grad school and like ready to take on the world, right?
Yeah.
You remember that feeling?
Yes.
And then, you go into your first experience with working with high traumatic cases. And the first place I worked was extremely traumatic.
Yeah.
Like case after case of just the hurt and heartache that kids have experienced. And nobody helped me. Maybe I should reframe the nobody. There may have been people there, but I still experienced severe burnout, severe compassion fatigue, probably more the burnout side. I was angry. I was not a great wife or mother back then in those days. I remember just driving home from work and being like yelling out my windows, because it was just so heavy. All of it was so heavy.
Yeah.
I was suspicious of everyone. Like I just didn't handle life well then. And so when I got out of that, I was able to reflect on those days and I was like, I want to help. I want to do something different here. We need people who are able to say, I get it, I understand it, and let's do something about it.
Yeah.
Let's take time to rest, right?
Yeah, I can't get started on that because I just love it. It's because when we do rest, and we're not just talking about sleeping.
Right.
When we do rest, reset, take a break, it energizes us, and that's when some of the best or better ideas come to me.
Yeah.
When you're burnt out, or even when you have fatigue.
Yeah.
Which in this, it's like things are just running around in my head. But I mean, in this life now, I mean, you can have decision fatigue.
Yeah.
Because we have to make so many different decisions, or I don't know. So I haven't heard people say social media fatigue.
Oh, there absolutely is social media. Oh my goodness, yes.
So we need to be able to rest and reset from a variety of different things. And it's important for us to learn how to do that. And so you can learn that from myself or Mary or other therapists and coaches in the Memphis area. And we do a pretty good job of working together and doing referrals, because I might not be able to handle something that Mary can handle, and vice versa. It's just how it is, based on our different histories and experiences.
That's right.
And interestingly, I've been getting more therapists to see for therapy, so I can kind of see my career taking a little bit of a different pivot.
But so needed. Oh my goodness, it's so needed.
20 years of experience, so I guess that's, and I'm going to say it out loud. I'll be turning 50 this year.
Nuh-uh, stop it.
Yep, I will. So, prepare on the road to 50.
I never ever would have guessed that, Karla.
Good,
Never.
child, good. Hey, I still got it. Yeah. Okay, so I see some key, what do we call buzzwords? I see some buzzwords here: positive psychology and joy. Tell us about that as it relates to your new program.
Yeah, so I think when we start that sleepwalking through life and disassociating, and we just forget that like life is meant to be enjoyed. We're supposed to like enjoy life.
Yeah.
And yes, like I'm going to just harp on it for a second. I understand that there's heartache and it's hard and there's pain and suffering and all of that. And even then, I believe that we can find the joy, and joy, we can talk about this all night long, but I know we have to sleep at some point. But joy is different from happy, right? Joy comes from a different place than just being happy. And that allows you to be able to, in the moments of those hardships and those sufferings and those traumatic moments in your life, that there can still be joy because it comes from a different source, right? And it's not a superficial, and happy isn't necessarily superficial, but from that like a fleeting emotional state. Joy is something that, because of your beliefs, because of who you are, it can just be there.
It's there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think joy is even different from positivity, right? It's a different, like there's a hope about it. There's a, I don't know, fill in the blank.
Well, as you were talking, and of course I've had three thoughts as you were talking, and I also heard you. But one of the things that I did this past year, and I was much more focused on me and taking care of myself. And one of the reasons why I had to do that is because the issues that clients were bringing to me were very different than what I had worked with in the past. And, I'm just going to throw it out there so y'all can understand what I'm talking about. We're talking about people who have relationships with multiple people, marriages with, all different. And I mean, there's some other issues as well, but that's one of the ones that came up to me first. But and another one is, of course, people having problems on their jobs and there not being much other than them quitting that's being done about it, and that just being honest, that can wear on a therapist. And so there have to be some outlets. But one of the things that I did was I went to what is that, like a home design event.
Nice.
And they were selling wares. I'm gonna say wares. But I saw a rocking chair and fell in love with it.
Yes.
Now, everybody doesn't want a rocking chair. That's fine. But my grandma used to rock me in a rocking chair. I said, I'm gonna get this rocking chair.
Yes.
And it brings me joy. Just seeing it brings me joy. So we talk about stuff and physical things, but I mean, if that's the stuff, the rocking chair, go for it.
Yeah. For sure.
Or just being very purposeful about tapping into your joy. What brings you joy?
Right.
And one of the things that I've seen as a therapist is that sometimes, actually, a lot of times people don't know what brings them joy.
Yeah.
Now, maybe they used to know and they forgot because they've been, a mother, a father, and so they've lost themselves in that process. That happens. But then sometimes people don't know.
Yeah.
Like they just haven't tapped into that. And it's very important for joy and our resilience.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we mentioned positive psychology and we were talking about joy. But I also want to mention this too. Mary was talking about something that comes from the inside. And so the verse that comes to me is the joy of the Lord is our strength. And I hang on to that. It's so important for my life. Yeah, I may be in a bad mood, but I'm going to tap into that joy. A lot of times that joy for me is music. And I can, you might be able to tell what I'm going through based on the song that I'm walking around singing. Because if it's a pretty difficult or very challenging thing, I'm going back to some old time hymns. You might not have heard me sing that for quite some time. Okay, so that's gonna tell you how I'm kind of how I'm kind of going.
Yeah.
And I'm one who enjoys gospel as well as other genres of music.
Yeah.
So I might pull from
Yeah.
I might pull from any of those genres.
Yeah, that's really cool. I was looking at a playlist from the year that my husband had an accident, and it was my running playlist, okay?
Yeah.
And they were all like these depressing, awful songs, and I was like, "Oh, I must have been going through a hard time."
Oh, really? Oh, well,
Like
yeah.
when I read through, and then I looked at another playlist, and I was like, "Oh, this must have been an easier." Like I was, and the songs weren't bad. They were like a yearning for comfort, for peace, for like a stillness. So it isn't music just, and you have such a beautiful voice.
Thank
She
you.
has sung at our retreats before.
I sure did.
You did.
I forget things like that.
Yeah.
But I sing with the praise and worship team. And so, Coach Mary HAMM, LCSW, and Gallup Certified Strengths Coach. I have really enjoyed our conversation so far. And we are going to take a break. And so you all come back and join us in just a few moments.
Sounds good. See you in a little bit.
Tune in to Talking Law with Attorney Daryl O'Neill and the special guest host, Attorney Jerome Payne. Live TV talk on your digital device, on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Download the SVP TV app right now. Check us out every Tuesday on Comcast Cable, Channel 17, 8:30 p.m. And we are live every Friday on Facebook Live, 6 o'clock in the evening. You've got a question? Our attorneys have the answer. So let's talk law with Attorney Daryl O'Neill on the SVP TV network.
Welcome back to Couch Convo with Coach Karla. Thank you so much for joining us. So glad that you could join us on tonight. I'm here with my special guest, Coach Mary HAMM, and we've been talking about the work that she does as a Gallup's Strengths, am I saying it right? Gallup Strengths Certified Coach?
Gallup Certified Strengths Coach.
Okay, Gallup Certified Strengths Coach.
Fine. You got all the words.
We have so many acronyms in the counseling field. And she's also a LCSW, and make sure you check back in the beginning of the show where I discuss, how we met each other and things like that. But we're talking about the new program that she has, which is Awaken and Renew. I'm excited about it as a therapist. I'm sure I will be there, and as I have attended her programs before and loved them. But I wanted us to look at one of the tenets of the program is sustainable self-care. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Sure. I think self-care is a buzzword these days, and I am not a fan of buzzwords. And even though apparently I use them in my marketing because, people respond to buzzwords.
Yeah, they do.
Sustainable self-care are the habits, the steps, the skills that you can incorporate into your everyday life to make it something that you can do all the time. That is not, it doesn't feel like, oh, I have to set aside time for self-care. Oh, it's my self-care time. Oh, I'm going to go do my self-care. That it's just part of your daily ritual, that this is part of who you are now, is taking care of yourself.
Okay.
I did it again.
It's okay. At least they know where it's coming from.
Right. Yeah. Does that make sense?
It does.
Sustainable
It does.
self-care.
Sustainable self-care. So my monthly appointment to the masseuse, which for some reason we don't say masseuse anymore. We say massage therapist, and I don't know why. But anyway, that's sustainable self-care, right?
Yes. If
all
it's
right.
part of your everyday or like your monthly routine. Yes.
Okay, good. Okay.
I would throw in that seeing a therapist is probably sustainable self-care,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Something that you can sustain. It's not a New Year's resolution that's just going to be done by Quitter's Day. Did you know about Quitter's Day?
I learned about that this year.
Yeah.
And what was it supposed to be? Wait a minute, no.
It was last
It was
week.
it was, I was surprised. I was thinking they were going to say the last Friday in the year was Quitter's Day, but it was like I'm sorry, the second Friday in the year
Right.
was
Yeah.
Quitter's Day.
People quit fast.
But I'm going to tell you something I noticed. I don't think a lot of people got started this year, child. I'm telling you.
I'd agree with that 100%. Yes.
They
yes.
just said, forget
They're
it.
like, no.
We're not going to even try. I don't know if it was the weather or,
There's lots.
there's a lot. Yes. I'm gonna say it like this: the weather,
Bring it.
politics.
Let's
What? Something else happened though. Oh well, in our city, controversy with the Memphis City Shelby County School Board would be a part of that as well.
Yeah.
Which all of these things have worn us out pretty much.
Yep.
Even at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then the LA fires
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
It's just so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
There's a
those
lot.
things do make us tired.
Did you do a word of the year?
Yes.
I want to know your word of the year.
Well, look, yes. Come on, Mary, Coach Mary Ham. Yes, I always do a word of the year. This word this year is expansion. So I'm going to expand on all of the things that I did last year. I'm expanding on those this year. But I mean, that means spiritual, which I love the focus that my church is doing, fasting, and then that allowed for me to focus on my Bible study more. I got thrown off track, but I was trying to make sure that people put all the different facets. It could be expand family, relationships. It could be any talent that you want to expand on, but I'm just going to keep going further. And I know exactly what that is because I've written it down. But that's, and I pray about, or I'm directed by the Spirit or God to the word for the year. Did you have a word?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Yes, yeah. You want to know it?
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
so I feel like it fits well with yours. It's renew,
Okay.
which is appropriate, seeing as it's awaken and renew. But awake was my word in 2020.
Okay.
Okay. Now was my word in 2021. I'm not going to be able to do this. We're not going to go back that far. But so I had awake in 2020, which is interesting because I picked it before COVID started, right?
Yeah.
And so this year is renew. And similar to yours, it's like a renewal of mind, spirit, body. I kind of got off. I was a personal trainer a year and a half ago, and I hurt my hand and I just like fell off. And so a renewing of just physical, like taking care of my body again, and renewing of relationships, of my relationship with others, with God, with my husband, with my children, whatever it may be. And I love it. I think it's a great
Mary,
word
you
for
a
this year.
T-cell too. I didn't know that you were a personal trainer. I just posted this week. I know, but just the simple fact that you had the ability to do that. Everybody is not like adaptable and flexible like that. For instance, I went into, I just jumped like 3 different things. But I went into a, come on, Karla, Tai Chi class.
Okay.
And I went several sessions like that, but then next thing I know, the teacher wanted me to teach, and I was like, nah, I just want to be in a class. I don't want to teach a class, But I said, a T cell is someone who can go into a situation, a room, an organization, and fix different things and be in different roles. And so everybody's not a T cell. And so, Mary, if you've done physical training, and you've been you are a LCSW and a life coach, and you do other things as well. You're a T cell.
Wow, I'm gonna start calling myself a T cell because my friends are like, you have too many things you're doing.
Yeah.
You need to back off.
And T cells have to be careful with their time.
Right.
And one of the things is, for me, people want me to be all the things.
Right.
And I have to tell them, okay, well, right now, the season that I'm in is I am focusing more on music ministry. You know, I got a couple of other, it's more than a couple. But I have several other things going on, but I might not do this in this season because I'm focusing on this.
Right.
And just be mindful of your friends who are T cells or your friends who are multi-gifted, because that means that more people are people that I'm tired already.
I'll say I've actually pared back. At one point in my life, I think I had 7, maybe 8 jobs that I was doing, like paid jobs.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like I was getting
okay.
a paycheck from these jobs. And I know it's a little insane. And I had some real friends express like, hey, this is not healthy. And I was like, sure it is. I'm really good at it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm really great at organizing my calendar so that I can do everything for all people. And I had to learn, probably the hard way, that every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. You can write that one down. And every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else.
Yeah.
And for me, that just opened up, like, I need to zone in a little bit. What am I actually doing? What am I here for? What's my mission? And then, so I let some things go.
Yeah.
You're welcome. But I can still be a T cell.
Yeah, you sure can. You sure can. So one of the tenets of the program, Awaken and Renew, did I get it right?
Yeah.
Okay, is community support. Tell us a little bit about community support.
Yeah, I think it's actually what it looks like here is she came to one of my retreats in April, March.
Yes.
Sometime early on.
Yes.
She was at my very first one.
Okay.
And I don't know if you knew that. Did you?
I didn't.
Okay. Yeah, I was just winging it back then. And
it was good though.
Thank you. Well, it came from years and years of like, this was something that I knew I was going to be doing it at some point. I just had to do it. And that's one of my, it's one of those strengths, right?
Yeah,
As an activator. I don't have that. I do have adaptability, which is probably why I'm a T cell. Anyway, so community looks like people being able to form real relationships with people, being able to connect, being able to say like, oh yeah, I have somebody I know, she's a coach and counselor, and guess what? She's actually counseling therapists now, and therapists desperately need therapists who counsel therapists.
Yeah.
Like, we need somebody who's like, I get it, let's go there.
Yeah.
Right? And so being able to create that community, and then just the same people coming back to the retreats are important. And then even connection with the different organizations in our community that support mental health. So I have a sponsor every retreat be able to come in and tell us a little bit about the work that they do as an organization, and be able to how we can support them. And they often are like, this is how we're supporting you, right?
Yeah.
And so those have been really helpful and help create that community as well.
Cool beans. Well, as we think about community support, and we talked about self-care and joy. Okay, so I wanted us to tap into last year we had the Wicked movie. It came out. I just saw it a couple of weeks ago with my mom. She stayed awake the whole time.
It's a long movie.
Hours.
It's a long movie.
I couldn't feel the 3 hours though. Did you feel it?
No,
Okay.
no. And we went on pre-opening night, and the only seats left were the front of the IMAX.
Really?
And so me and my daughter and her friend were sitting in the IMAX like this.
Oh,
and
that's
so like
sad.
I saw up all of their noses.
Yeah.
It was great.
Well, when
It's a
it's
joke.
interesting because I did think it was funny. That's interesting because my mom and I went, like I said, like just a couple of weeks ago, and nobody was in the theater.
Yeah.
It was just myself and her, and then like a couple of other people, and so we were sitting in like the center.
Nice.
But it was it was nice to but a little strange though.
Full disclosure,
Yeah.
when you were like, have you seen Wicked? I want to talk about it. And I was like, yes, and I'm going to go again. And because I saw it at the IMAX, so I took my son, he's 11, to the movies on Tuesdays, which did you know it's cheap on Tuesdays? It's only like $7.
I forgot, but I didn't know that applied to. Okay, I didn't know.
Anyway, so yes, I love Wicked, all things Wicked, and big fan of the musical, big fan of the movie. Where you want to go with this?
No, I just want to know what you liked about it. And so you mentioned some of that. So I'm going to mention, people talk about, I don't like music because now I'm a musician, but now it's something about, I don't know, it sounds weird, but I don't even like watching a movie when it's got too much music in it. So it had that nice balance of acting and music, and I liked a lot of the themes that were explored.
Yes.
It showed the complexities of people.
Yes.
And I hope y'all have seen it at this point, child. And then let me say this too: Cynthia Erivo. I want to sing it so bad, but I can't right now. I don't have enough strength in me. But the way that she embodied the character, I love the green lipstick. My mom doesn't understand my love of the green lipstick, but baby, if I can find that lipstick, I'm wearing it. You hear me? We used to have that color, and then that color would change into a pink.
Yes, I remember.
It just came to me. So,
did you notice in the one scene where they go into the Emerald City that her nails had been green the whole time, but when she went into the Emerald City and they did her nails, and then they were like these fabulous green, like sparkly, amazing nails.
I didn't notice that.
Go watch it again.
I'm going to have to see it. So, yeah, anyways, we loved it. And part 2 is coming out November 21st. My mom definitely did not love that. But the producer of the show was saying that they tried to cut things out of the first one, and it just was taken away from the movie. I can see why it needs to be in 2 parts.
Yeah.
I just wish we didn't have to wait until November, but then that also means it'll be around my birthday when I'm turning 50. Yes. I also want to mention that since we were away, I did get recognized for a Who's Who in America. And you also need to go and check out the Memphis Voyager magazine. It's under, there's a story on me on one, there's a story on me, one of the articles, the most inspiring stories of Memphis. Coach HAMM,
That is
thank
so
you.
exciting.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was so great to have you on the show. You'll have to come back and join us again. And of course, I have to take my Clifton Strengths test.
Yes, you do.
Tell people how to reach you.
Yes, you can find me at Coach Mary HAMM. Actually, I'm lying to you. That's my Instagram handle, Coach Mary HAMM. You can find me on my website at maryham.com. And yep, those are the 2 best ways to get me.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you all for joining us on tonight. And as always, join us on Couch Convo with Coach Karla. Good night.
Bye, guys.